control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
No, not you, man.
But they can't control me. You
Not
see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name. It's up.
It's all Jay-Z.
It's all Jay-Z. And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all those records together. They both Aaliyah. Is it really a conspiracy if the same person keeps benefiting off the same kind of tragedy over and over and over again?
Hollywood conspiracy theories have been going around for decades, but recent revelations from one of its own has proved just how dark Hollywood can get. Kanye West's recent revelation that Jay-Z lured popular female artist Aaliyah has left everyone shocked.
They can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
No, not you, man.
But they can't control me. You
Not
see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name. It's up.
For those who are unfamiliar with Aaliyah, she was a popular R&B singer in the 1990s and early 2000s. At the age of 22, she was tragically killed in a plane crash on August 25, 2001. She was well known in the Black community and on her way to becoming a superstar. Jay-Z has long been suspected of being involved in Aaliyah's death, and Kanye might have just confirmed that. The 45-year-old rapper, who was once a close ally of the Carters, revealed that Jay-Z, among other celebrities, was being controlled by the Illuminati. For those who do not know, being controlled by the Illuminati means that the occult has complete power over you to the extent of making you do their bidding. And that's exactly what they did to Jay-Z.
My mama ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah, appreciate
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You're out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing.
As you already know, Aaliyah was the queen of R&B during her time, and this meant that the Illuminati wanted to recruit her. But Aaliyah was not having it. Her refusal to join the movement probably angered some higher power, which then opted to have her replaced. And this is where Beyonce came in. Aaliyah and Beyonce shared a very similar roots, with both hailing from an R&B background and with budding acting careers on the side. In addition to this, the two artists had similar names. Aaliyah meaning highest, most exalted one, and Beyonce meaning one who is beyond others. For many, this proved the two singers were on the same path, hence it was decided that Beyonce was the perfect replacement for Aaliyah. However, fans have disagreed with this, saying that Beyonce and Aaliyah were not on the same path. In fact, some claim that Aaliyah was actually the it girl and Queen Bey couldn't even compare, leave alone compete. People trying to come for Aaliyah's vocals are missing the point. Aaliyah was that girl, one fan wrote. Another one added, people don't realize how big Aaliyah was. Those commenting about how much better Beyonce is than Aaliyah must be younger than 35. They are speaking from hindsight instead of the way things were at the time. Then added, Beyonce as a solo artist had nothing on Aaliyah back then. Beyonce wouldn't have gotten as big as she is today as a solo artist if Aaliyah was still alive. It's not because Beyonce isn't talented, it's because Aaliyah was the it girl at the time. Aaliyah had an innocence about her that was captivating. Maybe it was her humility. Well, the Illuminati, which kept Jay-Z on a leash, had already selected Beyonce to carry on the legacy because Aaliyah had refused to join them. Meanwhile, Aaliyah was gaining more knowledge about the Illuminati, and the more knowledge she gained, the more she realized her life was in danger. Weeks before Aaliyah's death, in an interview in Paris, she mentioned a dream, saying, "It's dark in my favorite dream. Someone is after me. Don't know why. I got fear. Then suddenly I lift off. I fly away, far away. How do I feel now? It's like swimming in the air, free and without any weight. No one can reach me. No one can touch me. It's a wonderful feeling." The someone that was after her was probably Jay-Z, who had been instructed by the Illuminati, and the sudden liftoff that she speaks of represents death, but she is still unaware. To some, this theory might seem far-fetched, but when you take a closer look at the Carters' lives, then you begin to notice how Aaliyah's demise cemented their path to success. In fact, it can all be seen by how Beyonce is currently living the life that Aaliyah could only dream about.
I don't know why I'm so fortunate and so blessed.
What? Child. Anyways.
This can be proved by going back to the interview that Aaliyah did in Paris just weeks before she died, where she talked about all of the dreams that she wanted to fulfill. One day I will travel to Egypt. I will be there, where Cleopatra and the pharaohs lived. Unfortunately, I can't meet them anymore. If I had a time machine, I would visit ancient Egypt. Who knows, perhaps Cleopatra and me would have become good friends. At least I would have lived an experience of that ancient culture which I only know from books. My books about Egypt are sacred. I used to read every story about Egyptian kings and queens. Sometimes I watch just the pictures. I dream to stand in front of those imposing buildings. Or I make a movie in Egypt. My favorite character to impersonate is Cleopatra. If there will be a remake of that movie, I will apply for this character immediately, the late artist said. Well, did Beyonce not play as Cleopatra in Dreamgirls?
Everybody say yeah.
In addition to all this, a lot of shocking information concerning Aaliyah's fatal accident has resurfaced, and it all points towards foul play. There have been reports that the tiny aircraft had exceeded its allotted weight by several hundred pounds. In addition, the weight was improperly distributed, making the aircraft difficult to control while in the air. A toxicology report also revealed that the pilot had reportedly faked his license and was under the influence of alcohol and cocaine at the time of the accident. However, what was a mystery since the devastating crash almost 2 decades ago was why Aaliyah, a known nervous flyer, had insisted on boarding the overloaded plane back to Miami, despite there being a chartered jet due to pick her up the following day. While music journalist Kathy Landoli believes she finally uncovered the truth. In her book Baby Girl, better known as Aaliyah, the journalist had shed some light into what happened during Aaliyah's final hours alive. In the book, she explained how a Bahamian man who had been with the pop star just moments before her death revealed that Aaliyah never wanted to board the plane in the first place. Kingsley Russell, whose family ran a taxi and hospitality business in the Abaco Islands, was with the star as his stepmother drove her team to the airport for her return flight back to the U.S. As a teen, Russell claims that when the singer saw the plane to take her back to the U.S. mainland, she refused to get on board and went back to sleep in the cab his stepmother was driving, telling her team she had a headache. Aaliyah had just finished filming a music video for her song Rock the Boat, and upon completion of the shoot, the team were keen to get back to Miami, about 50 miles away. After dropping the team off at the airport, Aaliyah had concerns about the aircraft after hearing that it would be overweight. Feeling a little under the weather and suffering from a headache, she decided to spend time in the back of the cab with the air conditioning, leaving her crew to sort the problems out. Later, according to Russell, someone from her entourage returned to ask her what was wrong. Aaliyah is said to have repeated her concerns about getting on the plane, at which point she was handed a sleeping pill and she fell into a deep sleep. Russell headed back inside the airport while the star dozed in the back of the taxi. Upon entering the terminal, the book details how he could hear people bickering and arguing over the weight problems and the subsequent delays that were being caused. The airport staff and Aaliyah had the common sense that the plane was overweight, Russell quoted in the book. 2 hours later, the pilot once again advised that there was too much cargo on the aircraft to fly. He was backed up by baggage handlers at the airport, but then the argument ended abruptly and the pilot agreed to continue with the trip. All the while, Aaliyah was still fast asleep in the back of the taxi van, completely unaware of what had been going on inside the airport terminal. Russell details how Aaliyah was brought out of the van and carried onto the plane, despite her earlier reservations. They took her out of the van. She didn't even know she was getting boarded on a plane, Russell states in the book, and adds she went on the airplane asleep. Moments later, the aircraft was ready to depart and began hurling down the runway. It was airborne for less than a minute before it came crashing down a couple of 100 feet from the end. Although some on board survived the initial crash, including Aaliyah's bodyguard and hairstylist, within hours they were all dead. Aaliyah's body was still found strapped into her seat, about 20 feet away from the wreckage. An autopsy detailed major head trauma and extensive burns had caused her death. I don't know about you, but this whole story is screaming foul play. There seems to have been greater powers at play on that fateful day. Could it be that Jay-Z and the Illuminati orchestrated this entire thing? Well, we'll leave the speculations for you. That's all we had for today's video, folks. Bye!